Hey guys, we are about to go over an assignment called Percent Increase or Decrease 1. You have a couple of these assignments, so this same video will work for both of them. So what I might do is show you both sheets on the same video so that you can see how to do these. First of all, let's go to our teacher made app here. Remember, you click on this and it takes you there. You sign in with your Gmail from the school and you can begin working on it. All right, so this is what it looks like, the assignment 1. Now, I have a little form for you that you can look at. It says finding percent change, and that can be an increase or a decrease, because you could increase your number of sales or you could decrease your number of sales. So you will, they will tell you whether the sales are going up or down, and you'll know whether it's an increase or a decrease. Don't worry about this part over here about percent error. We'll talk about that later. To find a percent change, what you're going to do is first you're going to find the amount of the change, and you're going to divide that by the original amount. And I worded it differently here so that you could read these. It's all the same thing, amount of change, and then the slash means divided by original amount. And then I wrote it in words, amount of change divided by the actual amount. And when you find that, remember that you have to change that decimal you find to a percent. All right, so we're looking for the amount of change over the original amount. So let's do it like this. And also I put down on here, let's show you this in full right here. To find the amount of change, don't worry about the amount of error right now. To find the amount of change, you will have to find the difference between the two amounts. You find the absolute value of the difference. And when you find a difference, that's using subtraction. There should be no negative signs in your answer because you're just looking at the amount of the change, not whether it was a positive or a negative thing. All right, so percent change equals amount of change over the original amount. So let's look at this first one. Well, first of all, the original amount was 600. The new amount is 498. So did that increase or decrease? Well, 498 is less than 600, so it went down. It did not go up, it went down, so it was a decrease. Now we want to find the percent that it changed. All right, let's pull that other sheet back up here. So we need the amount of the change. Well, how much did it change by? Well, we have 600 here and 498 here. So we need to find out what the difference is between those two numbers. We started with 600, and we're going to subtract 498, and that will tell us that it changed by 102. So this 102 is the amount of the change. The amount of the change is right here. Now, we're going to take that number and we're going to divide that by our original amount. So we're going to divide by 600. And that's going to equal 0.17. Well, that is our decimal. And remember we said that we have to change it to a percent. So the percentage it actually changed was, well, we move our decimal 2 places to the right, 1, 2. The actual percent of change was 17%. All right. Now, let's look at the second problem here. And these all work the same way. All right, we have the original amount is 220. And this time, there's more of it in the new amount. So if there's more of it, that means it was an increase. All right, so we have 220 and 253. It went up. Now I'm going to show you something. You can do this either way. You can say 220 minus 253. You can do it like that. And it's going to give you a negative number. But remember, we're using absolute value. which means we don't have a negative number. It's just 33 is the difference between the two. So if you push this plus minus sign right here, that makes it a regular positive 33. Now remember, we take our amount of change, which was 33, and then we divide by our original number. So let's say divided by 220. 0.015. All right, we have to change that to a decimal. So we go 1, 2. So that's going to be 15%. All right. Let's look at it a different way now. This same one. Now, you can just take your larger number and subtract the smaller number from it, and it doesn't really matter what order, because watch this. When we do 250 minus, I'm sorry, it's not 250. It's 253 minus 220. We still get that same 33, only this time it's not negative. And we take that same 33 and divide it by 220, and that gives us 0.15. Move our decimal 2 places to the right, so it's 15%. If you would like to do it that way, just take the bigger number first and then subtract the smaller number, but make sure you know whether it's going up or whether it's going down. So let's look at number 3. We have 500 and then 555. So that looks like an increase of, well, let's find out. 555 minus 500 gives us 55. All right, so it increased by 55. And now we're going to divide that by our original number, which is 500. So we have 0.11. When we change that to a percentage, we go 1, 2 places to the right. So that was an 11% increase. All right, let's do one more. This time we went from 670 to 603. Well, it's less now, so that is not an increase, that is a decrease. So we're going to put that over here. Now, we're going to take our bigger number, 670, minus our smaller number, 603, and that gives us a change of 67. Now, that 67, we will divide that by our original number, which was 670. That was our original amount. And we get 0.1. So if we move our decimal 2 places to the right, here's 1, but we need one more, and there's nothing there, so we have to put a 0. So that's going to make that 10%. Now, something else that you can do if you're using your calculator, you can take your decimal and you can simply say times 100, because we're moving it 2 places to the right. And that'll give you 10 for your 10% if you would like to do it that way. Now, that's how it works for percent increase or decrease. And you have a few more problems on this page to finish. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and show you a couple of problems off of percent increase or decrease too, so that we can wrap that up as well, because these are the same types of problems, a little bit different looking worksheet. All right, but we're going to work the problems the same way you did on the other one. Remember that we are looking for the amount of change over the original amount. All right, so let's go back here. Let's read through number 1. It says, in February, Roger spent 30 hours watching Netflix. In March, he only spent 22.8 hours watching. What was the percent decrease in the amount of time he spent watching? Well, they're telling you it's a decrease there. But he spent 30 hours, in February, and in March, only 22.8. So how much did it change? Well, first of all, we have to take his 30 hours that he did watch, and we have to take away the 22.8 that he watched in March. So that's a difference of 7.2 hours. Now, we take the amount of the change or the difference and we divide it by the original amount. And the original amount was 30 hours. So we're going to divide that by 30. So we have 0.24. Now, remember, we can move our decimal 2 places to the right, or we can multiply it times 100, and we get 24%. Not letting me put the percent. Okay, so you don't have to put the percent here because all of these are percents. So you just put the number. All right, so 24% then. Just remember that it's percent. And if you don't put the percent sign, it's okay. Because I think I put these in as numbers so it won't let you type that because it's already asking you for a percent on every single one of them. All right, let's look at number 2. In February, Lana got a puppy that weighed 13 kilograms. By October, the puppy weighed 17.16 kilograms. What was the percent the puppy's weight increased? Okay, well, we know this is an increase. So all we're doing is finding the percentage. Now, we can take the bigger amount, 17.16, and we have to subtract the smaller amount, minus 13. And that gives us a difference of 4.16. So this puppy gained 4.16 kilograms in weight. But let's find out what the percentage increase was. So we would take this 4.16, which was the difference between the two weights, and we divide it by the original weight of 13. So we're going to divide it by 13. And we get 0.32. Remember, we can move our decimal 2 places to the right, or we can say times 100, and that equals 32%. Now, please don't get confused. You're not going to be able to type the percent sign on these, and that's okay. All right. A small fruit smoothie is 18 ounces, while a large fruit smoothie is 21.96 ounces. The large fruit smoothie is how much larger? So we're basing it on this. Well, actually, we want to find the percent increase. We want to find the difference there still of 18 and 21.96. And we want to know how much bigger the large is. So let's find out how much it increases from the 18 ounces. All right, so we would say 21.96 because that's a bigger number, and we're going to subtract the 18. All right, now our original amount is 18 ounces. All right, don't let this part fool you. The large, they want to know how much bigger it is. So we want to know how much it increases percentage-wise. So we have 3.96, and our original amount right here is 18 divided by 18.22. So remember, we can either move our decimal 2 places to the right, or we can multiply it times 100 and get 22% for number 3. All right, again, you have a few problems on here to work on your own. Both of these work the same. The finding percent or increase 2 and the finding percent increase or decrease 1. Both of these work exactly the same, so we're going to use the same video for both of them. All right, I'm going to stop recording here, and I will post these for you, and then we will go over some other things.